Hello and welcome back to the Peculiar Place podcast. Mandii is here.
This is a segment, Two Vees in a pod, and we're your hostesses. I'm Mandii.
And Jessii. I'm so glad you're back.
Oh my gosh. I'm happy to be back.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
First week of January was the last time you were here, which is crazy.
Was it really the first week of January?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think it went longer than we anticipated because I was fully prepared to give birth earlier.
Yeah.
I thought for sure, but I was late. I was 1 week late.
And so Mandi's going to be giving her full birth story, birth experience here today.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
It was crazy.
I don't know if we need any trigger warnings, do we? I mean, it's a birth story. Get ready for health stuff, hospital stuff.
Yeah.
Bodily functions. I mean, it's a
bodily function.
It's a birth story.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about that today. But first, we just want to thank all of our patrons. Mandii wasn't here when we introduced it, but you're excited about it. I'm excited.
I'm so happy to hear about it. It makes me feel so special, actually seeing the individuals that are supporting us,
signing up.
There's just so much love that I have for those people, and it's great. Thank you so much for the support.
Yes, thank you.
We love you.
I just wanted to give a quick, just in case you didn't see last week, we have a Patreon page and there are 4 different tiers. The first one is $2. It's called Buy Us a Coffee. It's just a way to support us without any huge commitment, and we really appreciate anyone that's supporting on that tier. The second tier is the supporter tier. So every single week you will get an extra bonus clip of the podcast. And so this week, Mandii is telling a crazy, would it be an argument? How would you say?
It was the most wild interaction with the first nurse that was tending to us.
Yeah.
When we got to the hospital for the first time, and we ended up having to complain, and it was a mess.
It's a situation. We're going to be posting that clip this week. So if you would like to see that crazy story time, it's going to be on Patreon. The third tier is called the Peculiar tier. So you get everything from the previous ones, including the weekly video. And also that tier gets a monthly discount code for the merch website. You also get to see any other photos and stuff that we post on Patreon. But you also get postcards from us, and this is the first one. It's me and Mandii. This was taken back, I think, in May on Mother's Day.
Fun fact, I was pregnant here.
Right.
But
no one knew.
You can't tell, and yeah, no one knew.
You told me and Mom. Actually, the girls knew at the place, but you hadn't been public about it until...
No, because I was nauseous, so I just wanted them to know ahead of time because I was throwing up the entire trip.
So we're gonna be signing these and sending them off to our patrons this month. Just a reminder that we are shipping these out on the 14th or 15th of each month. So if you become a patron before then, you will get these. We're going to sign them. It's all good.
I love this picture.
I love it too.
Can I take this home?
You can.
I want this.
We do have a lot of them.
I'm going to put it up on my wall. I love it.
And then the last tier is the producer tier. So you get all of the previous benefits, but you also get a credit at the end of each of our podcasts, which is pretty cool. And you also get to send in topic ideas for us to talk about.
So I love that.
You're a producer of the podcast.
Love that.
Anyway, we're going to put a link down below. Obviously, this is not necessary. Even you just watching our podcast, listening is so much support. But we were talking about it last week, how Canadians, we don't get paid on TikTok. We don't get paid anywhere. So even though we post tons of reels and all kinds of stuff,
and put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, we're Canadians. Yeah. And obviously, this podcast, we're starting off small. It's a small channel, small amount of views that we're hoping to grow this year. And so we do need support for rental space and for staff working behind the scenes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you guys so much. Link down below, or you can go to www.patreon.com/peculiarplacepodcast. Okay, so I thought before you tell your full story, because the mic's gonna be on you pretty much the entire podcast, we could do a brief update because I just had my birthday party on the weekend.
Yes. And I wasn't there.
I know.
Guys, I was so worried that people were going to read into that and be like, why wasn't Mandii there?
No one commented that, but I did get some DMs where's Mandii? And I was like, she just gave birth. She just had her baby.
So sad. But I wanted to be there so bad. But I'm okay, next year, it's going to be another 30th.
Yeah.
We're gonna party like it's your 30th next year,
Yeah.
please.
My actual birthday's on Valentine's Day, but everyone thought it was on Sunday, but that's okay.
Well,
Because I posted on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the song to the reel that I posted was I'm turning 30. So like it's coming up, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Anyways, I wanted to tell kind of a crazy story time. I cannot believe these things happen to me, honestly. Like, I just want to go out and have a good time. Like we talked about, like, we're homebodies. So, like, when I go out, like, I'm already nervous and, like, anxious. Like, most people are excited for their birthday parties. But I was telling you, like, I was just feeling anxious and nervous about it. You know, socializing, going out is not my thing. Anyways, though, I got all dressed up. My friends and I, we all met at, I'm not going to say where it was, but it's, like, this complex that has, like, condo buildings. And then you can walk to restaurants. And they also have, like, a club. But it's not, like, a crazy club that you would go to in like the city. It's
more
like
loungy.
It's very loungy, cocktail club. There's still a DJ and music and stuff, but it's not, you know, crazy or anything. They had like a coat check and it was fancier than what we used to go to like in Toronto as teenagers. Anyway, so I got all dressed up. I had just gotten a new Coach purse. And guys, I don't buy purses, okay? I buy purses maybe once every 3 years. And I was like, I really want a silver Coach bag because I don't have like fancy purses to take places. And silver's a great color because it goes with everything. So I got it. It's over my shoulder. We all head over to the club. And we notice right away it's a club filled with people in their 40s, which is fine. It's like an older vibe. I mean, I just turned 30. So like I could be considered older.
But you wanted more of that slower, low
Yeah,
vibe.
that vibe was fine with me. There's a DJ there. He's playing a lot of like early 2000s music. We're all vibing. We grab a drink and we're all like dancing in front of the DJ booth. And we notice right away that there is this old woman, and I'm trying to figure out how to describe her because I don't want to be insensitive, but I also want you guys to get the picture. Okay? She's a little witchy looking. Is that mean to say? I don't want to be mean.
You know, you said that her hair was unkept and long and white,
yes.
And
it was
sounds witchy.
It was witchy. Like, she looked witchy, and she kind of was, like, hunched over, and she was probably, like, in her, like, 70s.
Said she was cackling.
She was...
That's witchy, too.
Yeah, she had witch vibes, okay?
Cackling.
There's nothing wrong with having witch vibes, but I'm trying to give you the picture, okay? Anyway, so she's probably in her, like, I would say 70s, and she's holding hands, like both of her hands, with an older man. He's probably in his 80s. He looks much older than her. And it's so bizarre because we're all dancing in a circle and they are zooming back and forth. They're not even dancing. They are shuffling so quickly back and forth across the club in zigzags, okay? So anyone who's in their way, you better move or you're getting smashed into. They do not care. They're not trying to go around people. They're going dun, 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 dun. Like, back and forth, back and forth. My friends are getting smacked in the face, in the back. One of my friends almost fell over.
I can't believe they weren't kicked
We're
out.
all trying to, like, dodge them. And it's so bizarre. Like, we thought right away, like, they must be on something. It cannot just be alcohol because of the way that they were acting. It was very weird. So at first, you know, the first 15 minutes, we're, like, kind of laughing about it because it's silly, right? You're there, you're drinking, you're with your friends, you're trying to dance. And these people are like...
But it sounds ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. I think one of my friends has a video of them doing it, actually.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I want to see.
We can't put it on here, but yeah, so we're all dodging them. It's super weird. The man disappears. I don't know if he leaves. I don't know if he even came with her. It didn't look like it if he left and she was by herself. So we're all in the circle dancing still. She starts creeping up behind all of the guys in the group. Not to dance on them, but she just kind of stands right behind him so close that like her chin's like basically on their backs and she's kind of standing there looking down. And so I start telling the guys, I'm like, check your pockets, keep looking behind you because I don't know what she's doing, right? I don't know if she's looking to pickpocket or like what's going on. It was just very strange. Anyway, then as we're dancing, she gets in the very middle of the circle and she looks directly at me, okay? We make firm eye contact. She sticks her two arms out at me, starts doing this, okay? So at first, if
casting a spell.
If you're listening, she's like twiddling her fingers. And so at first, I thought she was trying to get me to come like dance with her because the guy was gone, right? So I thought she was looking for her next victim to like fling back and forth around the club. So of course I back up and I kind of shake my head and I was like, no, like I'm trying to like get away from her. She starts coming towards me with her hands out. And so I'm backing up, and she's getting closer and closer and starting to speed up. The second she's close to me, does she not just with both hands grab my Coach bag firmly grasps it and then pulls it back and starts to run away. So it goes off my shoulder, and just as it's leaving my arm past my hand, I'm able to grab onto the handle, thank goodness. And so I pull back.
Jess.
And I go, what the lady? And so now we're playing tug of war with my purse. And it's in the air because she's shorter than me. So I'm trying to like get up where she can't get it. So of course we're like tugging back and forth. I'm running backwards, squealing. Like I'm screaming so people can hear me. And it happened so fast that like, it's almost like all my friends were in shock. Because
like,
everyone...
What is going on?
Yeah, everyone's like, this cannot be happening right now. And like Ty wasn't near me because when she started kind of coming towards us, we kind of parted because we hoped that she was just gonna like go through the group. Instead, Ty and I were separated. So like he's watching from across the room like this, like what is going on right now? Anyway, I get the purse, okay? I'm stronger than her. I run around my friend group and they all start blocking her because she's chasing me still. So now they're all like blocking her. And so at that point, I was like, should I be like telling security? I feel like that's what you do, right?
Security should have noticed what the zooming.
I know.
Way back in the beginning.
The issue is, like, they were all at the door. I don't know why there wasn't security, like, around.
I guess they don't expect security to have to be needed in a club like this.
Right. So anyway, I like talked to my friends and I'm like, I feel like we should tell security because it's not just like she's being belligerent and she's drunk. Like even the whole dancing thing, I don't know if you can really tell security about that. But I was like, if she's now grabbing bags and maybe trying to pickpocket, like this is something you should inform.
Behavior.
But, you know, I had some friends who were like, no, like that's going to cause like a ruckus. And I was like, really? But they were like, yeah, so don't worry about it. We'll try and block her from getting to you. Anyway, she keeps doing it. She hasn't grabbed my purse again, but she's trying to. So finally, well, you guys know Matt. He pointed to the door and he was like, get the out. Get the out, lady. And she looked so surprised. Like her eyes were like, she couldn't believe he was saying that to her. And then she left.
Good job, Matt.
Yeah. That was my 30th birthday experience. Okay, that was only one part of the night. Afterwards, it was totally fine. We danced for like 2 hours after that. It was good.
Hey, you have a story from it now.
Yeah, I literally, as it was happening, like I told Ty, I'm like, we have a lot to talk about on the podcast because this is very eventful. But the thing is, like, the club was great, but the DJ... And listen, no offense if you know a DJ or you're a DJ, but I feel like some DJs are so full of themselves and they think they're kings.
It's an ego.
And they have these huge egos and it's just a thing, right? So my friend, and here's the thing, the club wasn't packed. When we were there was maybe 20 people. Okay, that's not a lot for a club. That's actually very small. It was spacious. Like we had so much space.
I love
like
that.
It was really nice actually. But it's not like he had a room packed with 500 people. My friend, she likes the song I'm a Bee by Black Eyed Peas. Is that what it's called?
Is that, I was just about to say, is that actually what it's called?
I don't know. I'm a bee, I'm a bee, I'm a bee. I'm a bee on the next level.
I think it's I'm a bee.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, so she goes up to me and she's like, remember in high school when we used to listen to that song? I'm going to go ask the DJ to put it on. And I'm like, okay. Like, I don't love the song, but she does. So I was like, okay, yeah, go ask him. So she goes up there and like, listen, it already takes guts to go to a DJ and ask for a song, okay? It's like loud. They're like in their focus mode. You have to like go and tap them on the shoulder.
If you're drunk enough,
you can do it.
Yeah.
And she was.
Okay.
So like she comes back and she's kind of like, I don't know if he's going to play it. He kind of like brushed me off. And I was like, okay, well, you never know. Anyway, so the song ends that was already playing and he gets on the mic. He stops the music, which he had been doing all night. He would like stop the music and be like, thanks for coming, guys. I'm DJ, blah, blah, blah. And it would be so long. So we'd always stopping dancing being like, okay, like move along. You could even say that with like the music lower or whatever, but he would stop the music completely and be like,
this guy's trying to become
yeah,
Steve Aoki over here.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the music stops and he goes, some woman just came up to me and asked me for a new song, but I play whatever the I want. And my friend's face was just like, who says that, Mandii? It's not even like he's in like Toronto
but
and I
play whatever the I want.
And no one said anything. Did he expect people to like cheer and be like, yeah, you do? Yeah, you do. Like, no, we were all just like, because we were the ones dancing in front of his DJ booth. So we were the thing of the party, like the hype.
Did he realize that his joke or whatever that was, that statement didn't land well?
I think so, because no one said anything. Like, no one was like, yeah, like... And the next song he played wasn't even good, Mandii. It was like, I think it was Lucky Star by Madonna. You might be my lucky star. And we're like at least put on a song that like is like boom, like you said that. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's like unless you're a DJ who is trying to make it and like you make your own sets and it's all your original work. You know what I mean? There's a difference between that and then like you just playing songs.
Yeah.
Like that. Then people are going to assume, yeah, you are taking requests.
Yeah, like his mic drop was Madonna. Like, put on something really cool, dude, if you're going to say something like that. Yeah. It better be amazing. Like, we better be starting to dance right as you say that. But we just were like,
because DJs that actually like sell out for like a show or whatever, they're playing their original set. Right. You know what I mean? So people are there to hear that. Yeah. But it's like if you're going to like some random club and it's just this guy playing music, like just songs, get ready to take requests. I mean, that's your job.
Yeah. No, it was like so embarrassing for him.
If you're a DJ and you're mad when people come and ask for requests, you're in the wrong industry, babe.
Yeah, I know.
You're in the wrong industry.
But also, you don't have to say anything. Like, don't play the song then. Don't play the song.
Or be like, oh, like I have to stick to the set.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I would have said if I didn't want to play a certain song. I'd be like, oh, sorry, I have to stick to the set.
Right. No, dude, stop.
I play whatever the I want. Wait, honestly, the place you went to was like a more elevated, like a bougie or nicer place.
They had bottle service lounges all around it.
So they hired that DJ to play that night,
yes,
right?
They did.
But it's like him acting that way, you would think maybe you wouldn't get hired again then, because people that are coming to pay to come in and have a good time.
Right.
Speaking to your customers that way.
And what if it was like someone's birthday? Like, what if that was her birthday and she was like, I want that song?
That's bad work ethic.
Yeah.
Okay, DJs?
It's like that TikTok I sent you. It was like this beautiful, it was showing like all the beautiful ceilings in the cathedrals and stuff like in Europe. And it was like men used to build these and now they're just DJs.
It was Versailles.
Yeah.
They were showing Versailles.
Pillars and like it was gorgeous.
Like, you know how the ceilings are like Renaissance paintings and like, and everything. I showed Luca that because he laughed because I knew he'd appreciate it.
I showed Ty too.
But it's like, keep in mind, during that time period, everything was like handmade and like with a chisel and like painters and stuff. Yeah.
And it was like men used to do things like this or build things like this and now they're just DJs and they lie.
Now they're DJs and they lie. I love it. That's so funny.
Anyway, one last thing. Can we normalize that 30 is a young age? It's a young age. This is what I noticed. And like
40 is the new 30.
But even 40 comparatively, when you're 80 and you're looking back at when you were 40, you're going to think you're young.
People in their 60s and 70s, I still think that they're young. Like if I hear someone passed away at 75, I'm like, oh my God, they're still young. I think once you get into your 80s, it's like, all right, now you're getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could be 60. Like grandpa, isn't he? He was like in his 60s or he's in his 80s.
He's in his 80s right now.
And he was running, like, triathlons and stuff, wasn't he?
3 years ago. But, like, so I posted my birthday. I posted my birthday reel, and I know people are just trying to be nice, but a lot of the comments, and I'm talking like 80%, are people saying, you're 30? You don't look that old. Oh my gosh, you look so much younger than 30. And like, sure, like I'm glad you're telling me I look young, but the consensus was like, there's no way you're that old.
Jess, it's kids writing that. They're kids.
I know.
They don't know.
And like, I'll admit, like when you're a kid and you think about the age 30, I mean, it seems like a far time away, right? Like it seems like it's probably old.
When I was 16, I thought 20 was like old. I thought like 20 was like, okay, you gotta get your shit together. 20.
Yeah.
20-year-olds are babies.
But once you get here, you realize it's really not like that. The past 3 years, like when I turned 27, it really dawned on me and I was really nervous to turn 30. But like
when you turned 27?
Yes.
I'm 27.
I know, but it just seemed like a really big age to me at 27. I don't know why.
Oh, I feel 30 now.
And like the months leading up to me being 30, I'm fine. Like I do not worry about it. It's weird. It's like when you're in your mid-20s, you worry about it. But once you get here, because think about it, now I'm in my early 30s. So now I'm like, I feel younger again because there's people in their late 30s. Remember how we used to be in our early 20s? And like late 20s were the older ones. So now I feel like I'm starting a new, like I'm turning over a new leaf.
Cool.
And now I'm in my early 30s again.
I love that perspective.
You know what I mean?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, the year I turned 26, I was worried about 30.
Yeah.
Because then it was like, I'm not 25 anymore. Like, I'm not like mid-20s. I'm 27 now, but I never really thought about it at 27. But 26, that birthday was harder for me because I was like, oh, I'm edging near the end of my 20s.
Yeah.
I'm no longer 25. I'm not in the middle anymore. Yeah, it's kind of, you get over the idea at some point. I don't know. I just don't care anymore. I feel 30.
Yeah.
I'm 27, but I feel 30.
Yeah, I guess, like, it's just a backhanded compliment to be like, you don't look that old.
It's a kid.
But it's like 80% of the comments.
We have a lot of children who follow you, babe.
Like, it's different to be like, oh my gosh, you look 21. Because then you're not claiming that 30's, like, old and haggard.
Jess, nobody thinks that.
I know.
Kids think that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Like, your 30s are going to be amazing. And I always hear, like, 30s are the best years of your life.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Like, no pressure.
Yeah, because 20s were hard, honestly. So
20s
I'm kind of glad to
are
be 30.
very hard. And I feel like you grow the most so far in life in your 20s.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I think about the person that I was at 21, 22 versus the person I am now at 27, complete different person.
Yeah.
So much growth happening in that time. So it's
totally.
and a lot of challenges and obstacles. Obviously, life is always going to be challenging and have obstacles and stuff, but I feel like at least once you get into your 30s, you are more sure of yourself and you're more wise.
Yeah.
You have more wisdom. And
I'm so
maybe not everyone, but maybe you are married and you have a kid, you're starting a family, you have a home, you have a career, or at least maybe you're starting to think about that, or you're just starting that, and therefore, like, everything's sort of coming together in your 30s, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
That's how I view it.
Yeah, I do too now. Now that I'm here.
Think of all you've accomplished, and you're only 30.
Yeah.
You're only 30.
In my early 30s now. No care in the world.
And, like, 60's young, you know?
Yeah.
Think of your whole life so far.
All right, because I'm halfway to 60.
Yes. And 60's young.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
I'm good.
You're going to be fine.
Anyway, that was my birthday update. So now I'm going to pass the mic over to you.
Pass the baton.
Figuratively. Tell your birth story. Let's get into it.
It's honestly, my birth story is stressful. I get, like, heightened heart rate when I talk about this.
Yeah.
Where do I begin? I was a couple days late, past my due date, and my OB sent me in for a stress test at the hospital, which is where they measure, they, like, put belts around your stomach and they listen to the baby's heartbeat and they measure the heart rate and then also your blood pressure and all of those things. And I don't know why, but when they were doing this, I was such bad anxiety. Like, internalizing a panic attack during the whole thing. Like, you know when you, like, are having a panic attack,
yes,
but you don't show it and it's awful?
It's all internal, yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, those are the worst kinds.
Yeah.
In our family, we have something that's like white coat syndrome, where anytime our blood pressure is being taken or we're in some sort of a medical situation, hospital, doctor's office, whatever the case may be, your blood pressure is always high through the roof. But it's like not regularly high. It's just anxiety-induced high, you know?
Yep.
Anyway, so they were taking my blood pressure and they were like, okay, like, calm down. Like, do you need water? Do you need, like, ice chips? And I was like, yeah, give me the ice chips. It's fine. So we were there for like 20 minutes and they had to keep coming back and taking my blood pressure over and over and over. And the machine kept going off, like beeping, because the heart rate was too high, like her heart rate. And then every time the machine would go off, I would get even more anxious. It was horrible. It was the worst thing ever. Right after that, I went straight to my OB office and then they were like, your blood pressure is way too high. And I was like, yeah, but it's anxiety. And he's like, yes, but you were there for 20 minutes and they took your blood pressure 3 times and it just kept getting higher. And, like, it's not safe for babies, so we're going to induce you. So I was like, I do not want to be induced. They scheduled me to be induced, like, that Thursday. So in the morning, we went to the hospital. It was 7:30 a.m. that I was supposed to get induced. So we brought all of the stuff, hospital bags, everything. So we got there. I'll tell the Patreon story of the nurse.
Yeah, you had a difficult time with the nurse.
I had an extremely hard time with this crazy nurse.
Yes.
Awful. After that situation, well, technically during that situation, I was induced by, it's like a gel that they put into your cervix, and it's supposed to soften everything to help the water break, and then possibly have your water break on its own. And it's supposed to be like a more gentle way of inducing, and it works over 6 hours, so it's like a long process.
Yeah,
that was very intrusive. Because they have to like put it up you, and it was very painful. So that was a stressful experience, especially with that nurse. So then after that, I was just like walking around the hospital, trying to get my water to break, doing stretches. I brought the yoga ball to bounce on it, and I was trying to open everything up, and it was like 6 hours of just that. My water did not break on its own. So after the 6 hours was up, my OB came back in to break my water for me. What they do when they break your water is they stick up, like, it's like a, I feel so bad for any medical people that are watching this, because they're going to be like, what is she saying?
They don't expect you to know all the words.
It's a freaking stick, okay?
Yeah.
A skinny, long stick with a hook, okay?
Yeah.
And they stick it up you, and they pop your water. Thankfully, during this experience, because I guess with the gel that they had put in, it made it a lot easier for him to break it.
Okay.
But I have friends where it like wouldn't break, and they had to like keep going at it to try and break it. And it was the most painful thing that they've ever experienced.
Yeah.
So I was ready for the water breaking to be painful.
Right.
But it wasn't at all. So he like, put it up, and the water broke. And I just want to say, the experience of like your water breaking.
What is it like?
It's crazy. Like, it's not a baby in your stomach. It's water. Like, it's literally, there's so much water.
Right.
It was like a huge bucket of water. But it was like warm. But it was a lot. Like, I always thought that it was going to be like it feels like you're peeing yourself.
It doesn't.
No, it feels like your Niagara Falls. Like,
wow.
It just keeps coming and coming and coming.
So did they have a bucket, or was it a water? Like, or was it a towel?
No, so they had me sitting on, it was all in the bed that they did it.
Yeah.
The hospital bed. They just had me sitting on, like, pee pads.
Okay, like a dog.
Yeah, like a dog.
Okay.
Exactly like a dog.
Okay.
So, anyway, so while that was happening, my OB saw that she had pooped inside the womb.
Right.
So,
which is not great.
Exactly. So when the water is coming out, you can see like in the color that she pooped.
Yeah.
So it's actually really great that they induced me, because even if I thought my blood pressure is normally fine, it's like it's not exactly necessary that I get induced. It's good that they did it, because she had pooped inside of me, and that could have been a problem later on if I had waited and tried to like have it be natural.
It's got to be a God thing.
That's exactly it. This is meant to happen this way.
Yeah.
So once they break your water, you're basically under like this time limit of like, you can only have your water be broken for like 24 hours before the baby comes. So it's like, okay, this thing's happening now. So as soon as they broke my water, the contractions began right the away with like a vengeance. Literally, it was insane. So like, she was in posterior position, so I was having back labor, which is like the worst excruciating pain of my life.
Yeah.
And the contractions were like literally like 2 minutes apart at one point. Like, the contractions, you feel them in your stomach, because that's like what it's supposed to be like for like a normal regular birth.
Yeah.
It's like the tightening, and it just feels like what's the word?
Cramps?
Spasming.
Okay.
It feels like spasm of your uterus, and it's like tight, and it really hurts, and then it's like it loosens up, and then it comes back tight, and it just sort of does that in waves. I could have handled that. No problem.
Okay.
The back pain, it was like Alien versus Predator. The alien was digging out of my back and gonna come out of my back. Like, that's literally what it felt like.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. And I think I was only having contractions for like 2 or 3 hours before I was like, I need the epidural now. Yeah. They were like, okay, we'll get you the epidural. And the epidural was a whole thing in itself. Like, just that experience.
Well, that
like,
needle is huge.
But so they raise up the bed as high as it can go.
Yeah.
You have to be on the edge of the bed, and you have to like curve your back and your whole body in a way that they can get it in the spot in your back.
Right.
And you have to be perfectly still when they do this. And when you're having contractions every minute,
yeah, that's tough.
It's hard to stay still. So Luca was like holding on to me, and the process of them doing this takes a little while. And when you're having contractions, they have to stop everything and wait for the contraction to be done. And then they like work quickly after it's done, and then it comes back, and they have to stop, and it's very chaotic.
Yeah.
And it was really painful, them doing it. I had back labor, and I'm telling you that the epidural was painful to put in. But everyone should get the epidural.
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard
I don't know how women do this naturally.
Yeah.
I don't know. You must be
superhuman.
A god. Like, I can't. Yeah, seriously, superhuman. I can't. I mean, maybe I could understand, like, without that back labor pain, I could have maybe put up with the contractions, even though, like, your vagina, like, ripping apart sounds horrible. I don't know how people do that either. Anyway, so it started to ease up the pain. Except, and I don't know why they do this, but they put me on one side. And, well, the reason why they wanted me to do that was because they wanted me to open my cervix. Like, it's supposed to help the baby move faster down, like, the canal or whatever it is. So they put, like, a birth ball sort of, like, in between your legs to open everything up, and you're, like, on your side. Okay. But I had just gotten the epidural. So you know what happened? It pooled on one side of my body, numbed that side, and the entire other side of my body, I could feel everything. So one half of me is numb. And it's like, come on, guys, gravity. Hello. Anyway, so I'm lying like that. They're measuring your contractions. They're measuring your heart rate, the fetal heart rate, all of that. My OB came in not even like 20 minutes later, and he was like, so, like, you're having contractions, you don't feel them, but every contraction you have, her heart rate is like skyrocketing. Like, she's stressed every time you get a contraction. Her heart rate went up to 190 at one point.
That's crazy.
So they were like, this is dangerous. And they checked how dilated I was. I was only 2 centimeters dilated.
Oh, no. And you have to be 10?
You had to be 10. So he was like, listen, like, this is your first baby. It's going to be a long time before you get to 10 centimeters from 2. So he was like, I think we need to do an emergency C-section. And I was like, I remember thinking, like, for sure, yes, of course, because it's for her. And I don't need to be convinced at all. But I remember thinking, like, this is the one thing that I didn't want to happen. This is the one thing that I had been praying about not to happen. Like, this was my biggest fear. Everything that I had leading up to this was for a vaginal birth. And it was like, if I had known I was going to get a C-section, I wouldn't have had to be induced. I wouldn't have had to have my water broken like that. Right. I wouldn't have had to I was laboring for like 3 hours.
For no reason, essentially.
I didn't need to do that. So I was just like exhausted emotionally, like physically. But I was also like, okay, so if we do this, she's going to come sooner. I'm gonna meet her soon, very soon. I was like, I'm gonna meet her within like the next 2 hours, which is amazing because I thought it would be all night. So at this point, I think it was like 11, and they were like, okay, we're gonna go prep upstairs and just like get yourself ready kind of thing. We'll come get you. So we texted the family.
Yeah, we were on standby.
We let you guys know because it was very quick. The C-section situation. Yeah. We didn't really know that was going to happen. So nobody was there except for Luca because we thought that it would take hours and hours before she would come. Yeah. And like we would let you know, we'd let the family know, like, okay, like at like 7 centimeters, we'll let everyone know to come kind of thing. So we Luca texted the family, and then you guys were all like, okay, we're coming.
Yeah. Thank goodness we came right away.
But because it was so quick, nobody was like able to get there before I went in.
You went in like 5 minutes before we got there. Like we had just gotten there and they were like, no, she's already in. And we're like, no.
Oh my god.
Well, especially like our aunt, she like works in the hospital. She really wanted to like get in there with you to like help you feel at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
And she was
devastated. That would have been nice.
She was running up and down the halls like trying to find you. It was awful.
That would have been nice because I was so scared.
I know.
I was so scared, and I did not prepare myself for that. They brought me up there, and I was shaking so bad. So bad. Like never before. Like it was like shock.
Yeah.
That kind of shaking. And Luca couldn't go in there with me at first. They had to like prep me and everything. So they put me on this table and my arms were out like this. Like they had to like have my arms like this.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe so you're not grabbing.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with just being out of the way.
Right.
But very uncomfortable. And then they have like the curtain so you can't see. But if you look up at the ceiling, the huge like surgical lights that they have reflect what's going on.
But so you didn't look.
I did look, but not like I didn't focus on it. Like you're lying back, so that's what you see if you look up. You could see everything that they were doing. Oh my gosh! I don't know why they do it that way. There should be another curtain or something. Right. So I was really scared. The anesthesiologist, he was really amazing. Like that, he was so like moral support the whole time.
Oh, good.
Because he was behind me and he was dealing with my pain and everything. And so he was talking to me the entire time. Also, there was a nurse there and I wish that I could have seen her face. They were all masked up and everything. Right. She was like so mothering and nurturing and like literally rubbing my arm, touching my face, speaking to me in a way that was like really comforting. And, like, I want to cry just thinking about it because it was so scary, Jess. Oh, my God. It's traumatic. When they were ready, Luca came in and he sat, like, right next to my face, thank God.
So he was there through the actual procedure?
Surgery, yeah. So he was there with me. His face was right here. And the thing about the numbing, I didn't have any pain, but I could feel everything they were doing and envisioning in my head as they were doing it what they were doing because I could feel everything.
Yeah.
So I could feel the cutting, like I could feel like the roughness of it.
Yeah.
And then I could feel also like the pulling and the tugging and like it was very so C-sections and like what he does specifically is he like does the most like tugging on one side. And that's actually the side that has been hurting the most. He like pulls out from one side so he's not like doing a big...
Don't they like take out all your organs though?
Organs?
No, for real. Like we were talking to Beth, Ty's mom, and like they're supposed to like remove a bunch of your organs, put it on like a platter, and then take the baby out and put it back in. You're already done, so I would never have told you this before.
I don't even want to know that.
Okay.
That's horrible.
Sorry, I thought you knew that. I thought that's why you're saying the tugging. I thought that's what you meant.
No,
like,
I guess that's what I was feeling.
The bowels and everything.
You know what's interesting? I never searched up what a C-section actually entails.
That's good.
Because I was scared too. And even to this day, I don't ever... Like, when I see people having C-sections, even those photos that people take, like, with their babies, like, after the C-section...
Yeah.
It, like, triggers me. It was so... horrific.
Okay, I thought you knew like everything, so now I feel bad that I just said that.
No. I thought that they just like cut all the skin and then it's your uterus. Okay,
the baby's under everything.
Oh my God. Okay, anyway, things are like coming back to me.
Okay.
So like my throat was burning. I thought I was gonna throw up. I felt like dizzy. They had to put like the little like cup for puke next to my face. I got shortness of breath and my chest was tight and I thought that I like couldn't breathe. I just like couldn't catch my breath. So they had to give me oxygen. I was shaking so bad at this point on the table that it was like I was having an exorcism. I was shaking that much. Like shaking so badly. And all I could think of is like, how are they performing the surgery with me shaking like this?
Right.
How are they going to do a good job? So anyway, so she came out. We heard her cry. It was so sweet and quiet and cute. And then they gave her over to Luca. And it was just very chaotic because I was still feeling like all of these things. And in the midst of the surgery, and we were only halfway through, that I couldn't even really process her being there. They were taking pictures and all of this, and I was just like I just wanted to get this done. Like, you know what I mean? After that, they took Luca and her into the post-op room to do skin to skin. They had to spend the rest of the time with me alone in that room, like, finishing up. So it was like another, like, whatever, half an hour of them putting everything back together, I guess, in me. Now I'm curious. I want to know exactly what they did. Now that you've said that.
That's what Ty's mom told us, because she's had 2. And she was like, she wanted to see it, so the doctor let her. So they didn't put the curtain in front of it, because she was very interested. And she watched them. They like, removed her organs. They take the baby out. They put the organs back in.
She watched?
Yeah. She said she begged him. And the guy was like, I don't think it's a good idea. She's like, no, I want to see what's going on.
She watched?
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. They finished, and then I went back into the post-op room, and so they were like doing all like the vitals and like checking numbness and all of that. And the anesthesiologist guy, he told me, he was like, look, if you have another C-section in the future, it'll be planned, obviously.
Right.
He said the experience will be better because the epidural that I gave you was for a vaginal birth, and it's different than what they would give you for a C-section.
Different in what way?
In the way that you shouldn't have felt anything. You shouldn't have felt even the slightest bit of...
tugging?
Yeah. You shouldn't have known what was going on the way that you did.
Oh, shit.
Like, even before I went in, he was like, if worst comes to worst, we put you out. Like, we'll put you to sleep. He had just given me the epidural for a vaginal birth, and then I went right upstairs within that hour.
He was probably pissed. He was probably like...
Well, he really stressed to me afterwards that he was like, this was like a really shitty way of doing it, an experience for you.
At least he told you that, because
he did.
Now you can have some peace about your next one.
Yes. He said the next time it'll be a easier, more pleasant process.
Yeah.
Because they will be prepared. Because obviously an emergency C-section, you're dealing with the doctors that are just there that day. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is like planned out.
It's a little chaotic.
It's extremely chaotic and emergency, quick. Like, you know what I mean? So obviously a planned one would be better. But it was interesting hearing that from him, because if that was just the way a C-section is... like, for everybody, I don't think I would do it again.
Yeah.
But now, like, I mean, I probably will, because she's amazing. But so then after that, they gave her to me for breastfeeding, and it was amazing because she latched right away. And this was something that I was really stressed about, because a lot of women have a hard time. Either their babies have a hard time, or they have a hard time. And I've always hear more often than not how painful and horrific breastfeeding can be on like your body, and also like the baby if they have a tongue tie or they don't know how to latch, and it can be a very upsetting situation for everyone. But that hasn't been the case for me, and I'm so happy about that. I feel very grateful for that, and I'm like, I'll take a win where I can get it, because that was stressful. And then after that experience, the recovery is like crazy. So like the next day they wanted me to like sit up on the edge of the bed, stand up if I could, and take a couple steps. I sat up on the edge of the bed, didn't even get to stand up yet before I started seeing black spots, like I was gonna pass out. And they had to get a bucket for me because I was gonna throw up. The pain was insane. I've never felt anything like it in my life. So they were like, okay, not yet. Like, lie back down, and like we'll keep trying the rest of the day.
How were you peeing?
Catheter.
Oh, you had a catheter.
I had a catheter put in.
Did you feel that or no?
No, because they do it after the epidural.
Okay, that's good.
But getting the catheter put out, that's a whole other thing I'll tell you after.
Well, I know what that, because that's the same kind of tube. You know, when I had my the bladder thing, that's essentially what it is. But I didn't have any numbing or anything. I know that feeling, though. It's awful.
So after a couple hours, they kept trying to get me to like be like move and stuff. So I think you guys were there the first time I took a step. They had 2 nurses in there, 1 on each side, and I took a couple steps with them.
I don't think I was there. That's probably Mom.
I know Dad was there for sure, because he brought that up later on, because it was really painful to watch.
Okay, I don't think I was there.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was painful. I didn't sleep for like 3 nights straight, because I had like, I guess like a temporary case of like PTSD, because every time I closed my eyes I would relive the C-section over and over and over. Even though I was so tired, my mind would just like it just would go a million miles a minute and just be replaying over and over and over again, the C-section. And that lasted for like 3 nights. And I did not sleep at all. And I was just so like triggered and like upset about that experience. It was just really hard to like process.
Yeah.
And a lot of it I blocked out until like recently things are starting to come back to me now. But like I just was so in love with her right away. She was so beautiful and so amazing. Actually, the car ride home was awful. I wasn't even there for 48 hours. They're supposed to keep you there for 48 hours.
I could not believe that. Like, that's insane.
I just want to say like how little I guess this country views like women's health.
Yeah.
Or I guess in general, just women's health everywhere. I had a very serious abdominal surgery and they sent me home not even, I think about 24 hours after.
Yeah.
And they sent me home with Tylenol. Tylenol.
That's crazy, Mandii.
I just had a baby ripped out of my body.
Have a Tylenol.
And they sent me home with Tylenol. So the car ride home, I was bawling my eyes out. I was in the worst pain I've ever been in. It has been a huge snowstorm and the bumps and the everything, it was just awful. I was so upset because for like the first like 3 weeks, I'm unable, well, technically 6 to 8 weeks is like recovery, but you're not supposed to lift anything. You're not supposed to go up any stairs. You're not supposed to walk much. You're supposed to like be in bed and be recovering. And you're also still bleeding. Like, you still bleed. People don't know that about C-sections. They're like always surprised to know like I was in a diaper for like 2 weeks.
Of course, everything has to come out, you know.
And just feeling like I can't just be independent with my daughter.
Yeah.
And like lift her car seat myself and like just do things for her myself. So like having like that physical limitation when it came to her, I was just so disappointed because I wanted that right away. Even now, like I still don't fully have that yet. So it's just like frustrating because I want that independence.
Right.
Something I wanted to share is that because it was so crazy. That first night, I think, that we came home from the hospital, you guys came over for the nighttime shift.
Yeah.
All hands were on deck the first week.
Oh,
like the family, everyone was there to help out. So Jess and Ty would come over from like 7 to 11 to like watch her while we got some sleep. And I remember that was the first time that I had been like away from her. And we went into the bed, Luca and I. Every time I closed my eyes, I would see her face. And I kept hearing her crying. And you were in the room right next to us. And she wasn't crying. No. She was fine. I kept hearing her crying. And it was stressing me the out. And I kept looking at Luca and I'm like, do you hear her crying? Like, is that her crying? And Luca's like, no, she's not crying. Everything's fine. Like, go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling like, oh my God, am I losing it? Is this postpartum depression? Like, am I gonna start hallucinating? Like, I was so scared for my mental health. Once I got sleep, that never happened again.
Yeah.
So it was just like pure exhaustion.
Yeah.
And anxiety and PTSD and everything. And every time that it would be nighttime and the sun would go down, I would feel this like dread. And I'd always cry whenever like mom left.
Yeah.
Or you guys left at night. And it wasn't because I was like scared or worried about anything to do with her. And I couldn't put my finger on it why I felt this like dread at night. But then I told mom and mom was like, it's because when you had the C-section, everything that happened at night when the sun went down. And it's just like another form of trauma.
Right.
And that went on for like the first week. Once the second week came, we started becoming more independent. We didn't need everyone to come over as often. And now we're like totally independent and everything's great and everything's amazing and nighttimes are fine and I'm fine. I just wanted to talk about that first couple nights of like how like your mental health can really be affected and birth trauma is a real thing and like not enough people talk about it.
I believe it.
So now she's 1 month old today
and she's here in the studio.
She's here. She's here and she's amazing and I love her so much and I can't get enough of her.
She's so cute. She's the cutest baby. And it's not even like just because I'm her aunt. Like, she's the cutest baby I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, some come out all shriveled up and everything. She's beautiful. Like, these big cheeks and, like, her eyes are gorgeous. And, like, everything about her is so beautiful. She's going to be the cutest toddler, the cutest little kid. I'm so excited to see her grow. Like, I'd love to picture, because when she was in your belly, we wondered what she would look like at this age. And now that we see her now, I'm like, what is she going to look like at like 1 or 2 years old? Like, because that's when they start to really look like how they're going to look.
I was talking to Luca about that. I was like, I can't even picture, like, because she's just such a cute little baby. I can't picture like what she's going to look like as like a woman or anything. Yeah.
And what is her hair color going to be? Because right now, like,
her eye color,
all babies have kind of the same hair color. Like,
and blue eyes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to like know what her like talents and her interests are gonna be,
and her little quirks and like things that she loves. What's her favorite movie gonna be? Like,
we're gonna show her the best movies.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Oh my god, I just want to say, like, I was right about when I said I was put on this earth to be a mom. Mm-hmm. I know what my purpose is. I have meaning in my life. I did not know what unconditional, like true unconditional love was until I had her.
Yeah.
I thought I knew. But unconditional love, it's like I don't want or need anything from her ever. I just love her. And I'm like obsessed with her. But yeah, And
I just want to say that I'm really proud of you. And I don't want to cry. Because I will cry.
Jess. Oh my god, Jess.
Stop.
Literally.
I just want to say I'm proud of you because you've been through a lot. I can't even speak right now and go into this. But just know I'm proud of you. And you're an amazing mom. And you've been through it. And you're still there for her and your husband. And you're present. And you're even here now. And, like, I'm just really proud of you. Because it's not easy. And I see it. And you're tired. And, like,
Jess.
You're still doing it all. So
I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Even though this was the hardest and most challenging thing ever. Mm-hmm. Being her mom and taking care of her is so easy for me.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes easily because I'm so happy and excited to do it. It was the experience and the overcoming, like, recovery that's been hard. That's the hardest part of it. Obviously, like, lack of sleep is hard and it sucks. But also acknowledging that it's so temporary.
It is.
And whenever I'm, like, up at, like, 3, 4, or 5 a.m.
It's not forever.
I'm like, this is so temporary, and I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss her being this little.
Yeah.
And I can sleep later.
Exactly.
I need to be here for her now.
Yeah. She needs her mama and her daddy.
Yeah.
You guys are great. So
that was my birth story, guys.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. But all is good. And it's going to be an exciting year. That means this time next year, she's going to be 1.
God.
It's so exciting. So when do they start walking? Me not knowing anything about babies.
Well, I'm pretty sure they start walking like by 1. Like,
so she'll be crawling like in the fall?
Yeah, definitely.
In the summer?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's already like moving her legs. Like when I do tummy time,
and her neck. Like,
she's so strong.
Is so strong.
She's so strong.
It's amazing.
I know.
So she might be one of those kids who are like crawling first, walking first. Like,
I'm excited because at the 2-month mark, that's when they say they start to like laugh and smile and recognize faces.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's so exciting.
I can't wait for her to laugh. Oh, I'm gonna make her laugh. Oh my god. Like, newborns are cute, but laughing babies
are the cutest. Oh my gosh.
I always thought that like newborns would just laugh sometimes, but they don't. They don't laugh.
Yeah.
They don't know. They can
so
hardly
quiet.
see. They can. They're just like developing.
Yeah.
They don't recognize faces yet, none of that. So I'm excited for that.
And her first words.
Her first words.
Will they be this year?
Yes.
Her first words?
Yeah. Yeah. They talk, but very like baby talk.
Right.
Like she'll be like, Mama.
Oh my gosh.
I hope. I'm always like trying to prep that. I'm always like, Mama? Can you say Mama? I know she can't, but I just want her when she can say it, I want her to say Mama.
What if she says Dada first?
Everyone says she looks like Luca. Everyone says she looks like Luca, which I'm thrilled. But
I see both. I see Luca in her expressions that she makes. Like, I really do. But when she's calm and sleeping, she looks like you. Aww. Like right now when she was sleeping out there, I was thinking she looks like you. But when she makes her like stretch faces and like her weird faces that she makes, I'm like, that is so
looks
Luca.
Like Luca.
So it's kind of nice to have both.
She's so perfect.
Yeah, she is.
I love her so much.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She is.
Aren't you so obsessed?
Yes, I am. Of course I am.
I didn't think I would ever be one of these moms, but like...
No, I think about her all the time.
You're a great aunt. You're such a good aunt. Great aunt.
I strive to be.
And Uncle Bean.
Yes, Uncle Bean. It was so funny because he's out there looking after her and he's bringing her in whenever he thinks her face looks too pink or whatever. And Mandi's like, she's okay.
She's literally pooping.
Yeah.
She's literally pooping. She pushes and she goes red.
He wants to make sure, which is nice. It's good to like...
No, I'd rather that.
Yeah.
I would rather that. He looked stressed.
I know.
He looks stressed.
He does, yeah. Anyways,
Poor Ty. Poor Ty. He's doing a good job.
Like we said, a good uncle. He is a good uncle. Like we said, the crazy nurse story is going to be on Patreon. So by the time...
That is wild.
Yes. By the time you watch this, it'll be up. So we're going to put a link in the description. But we don't have any trending topics really this week because this podcast has really been about the birth and my little... birthday story. The only thing that I really wanted to talk about was Taylor Swift, but I don't know if we're too late now. Like, I really wanted to mention, like, everyone's talking about how she ignored Celine Dion on stage, and like, Celine Dion's going through it.
The way that she acted that whole night
was strange.
The way that she was like grabbing onto people and friggin' pulling Lana Del Rey on the stage, and
it was a little bizarre.
It was too much. But also, the Swifties are gonna come after us.
I know. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm not a Swiftie. It doesn't mean I don't respect her. I love a powerful woman. We're all here for women. We love when people succeed.
And she has bangers.
Of course. I personally don't listen to her music. Have I liked a couple of her songs? Sure. Am I against the Swifties? No. I think listen to what you want to listen to. But do I think she's oversaturated in the media and on social media? Yes. I think I see her face everywhere. She's at football games. She's at the Grammys. She's doing her tour. She has a new album coming out. Like, she's everywhere.
Do you see what people are selling those tickets for?
No.
Like thousands of dollars for concert tickets.
Oh my gosh.
Like $3,000 people will spend.
It's just like, that's what I mean. Like, it's a lot. It is a lot. And I think
she's on top of the world.
Even Swifties could admit that she is everywhere. Mm-hmm. And like, maybe I want to see other things sometimes. You know, like, I feel like when I'm on TikTok, it's like every other thing is like, Taylor Swift this, Taylor Swift this. And I'm like, can we not?
It was the way that she acted at the Grammys that was a bit cringe. I just didn't know that she like behaved that way. I didn't really give a shit otherwise.
She's like coming out with new albums like every second. If I was a Swiftie, I would love that shit.
I know.
Because so I love Bon Iver.
I was going to say I wish Lana Del
Rey
or
Lana.
That.
But like Bon Iver, he posts an album every 5 years. Mm. So it makes me frustrated that like that's the person I like and I'm not getting albums, but everyone else is. I'm not a hater. It was just a little bizarre at the Grammys.
Yeah.
We love Lana.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
oh yeah, let's describe it if you haven't heard about it.
I was going to say, because it's all over TikTok, you could literally just Google it.
Right.
The way that she was grabbing onto people, and everyone seemed uncomfortable. Lana Del Rey did not want to go up on the stage. She just lost.
Yeah.
She was pulling her. No, come.
And she was like, no.
Yeah. No, come. Like, stop.
And then Lana was like awkwardly just at the back of the stage watching after she had just lost, and she had to watch Taylor like do her acceptance speech. Actually, the Celine Dion thing bothers me more because I love Celine. I was gonna say Celener, but that's a different thing. That's
Selena Gomez.
But she's been going through it. Like, Celine Dion has a new, I forgot what it's called. It's like a disease or something.
I know.
But she's really, really sick. Like, she's not doing well. So for her to even appear at the Grammys, I was surprised to even see her there, right? And she was just full on, like, ignored. Like, Taylor was, like, talking to her friends or whatever, turning this way, and she just, like, takes the Grammy and walks to the stage. And Celine's like, okay, what am I, chopped liver?
That was wild. Yeah.
Anyways, though, just an observation that I thought was, well, everyone seemed to think was
I think that
weird.
she needs to just read the room a little better, maybe.
I mean, obviously, you never know these celebrities personally, so
yeah, exactly.
She could be absolutely amazing. She probably is, but anyways, it's our job to report the trending topics. This is our job.
Right. Exactly.
So from now on, unless Mandii has a week that she could not be here, I mean, you're going to be here.
I'll be here.
For the year.
I'll be here.
So we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to get going. Patreon link down below. Thank you guys for watching. As usual, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good Valentine's Day.
Yes.